How you doing?
Good, man.
Hey,
How about
Brian.
you?
I'm all right. Good to see you. I
Oh,
love your
great to see
background.
you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Well, this is a thrill to talk to you. I'm such a fan. I'm Jason, by the way, and that's Jimmy.
Thank you.
Such a
Nice to meet
fan of
you.
your work. I mean, from the toys that made us. I mean, I never thought anybody, any serious filmmaker, would actually make a documentary series. I mean, one episode, let alone a series about various toy lines. But not only did you do it, but you did it. It was like a big success. It was one of those COVID binge shows that you had to watch.
Thank you, man. Very kind. Very kind.
And so we
Have
know
you-
that
have
you're a fan, you're a collector, and you're one of us. I think the word geek is overused. I'm not a big fan of that, but you're an enthusiast. But you
Yeah,
kind
I mean,
of
listen, if you don't want to be called a geek, that's cool, and I respect that. But I am absolutely a motherfucking geek. Can I curse? Am I allowed to curse?
you're allowed to curse, man. Anything you want.
Yeah,
That's
I'm a
right.
geek. I'm definitely a geek, and proud of it. But I respect if you don't want to be called that. I will not call you a geek.
No, I think it's just overused sometimes. That's all. But
That's true.
we're geeking out about Icons Unearthed. I mean, an anthology documentary series about the making of Star Wars episodes 1 through 6, or should we say 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3. And as a huge Star Wars fan, and we'll talk about your fandom in a little bit, I can't imagine you going and pitching something new about the making of Star Wars and not seeing eyes roll like, oh my gosh, hasn't every story been told about the making of these films? So how did you get people excited about something new when it comes to, documenting the making of probably the most well-documented films of all time?
So, I mean, you asked me a direct question. I'm going to give you a direct answer, but I hate saying this kind of thing because I always feel like it. Hello?
Yeah, still
Did we
here.
lose you?
We're here.
No, no,
We're
no.
Oh,
here.
sorry.
Oh, we're
I
just
couldn't see
we're
it.
we're shifting camera angles.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yes,
Like, oh,
yes.
now
So
I'm here.
any kind of direction you want to give us is fine.
Yeah, let me
If you
do
want
that. Let me do the thing.
You're the expert here, man.
Perfect. I'll get
There you
my monocle next time. So I hate this answer because it could come off as egotistical, but you asked a question, I'm going to give you an answer. Movies that made us, in particular, like many times we'll hear, wait, who are you? And we're like, well, we do movies that made us and toys. And they're like, oh my God, movies that made us. It's my favorite show. When can I do my interview? So we get a lot of that, luckily. And then the other answer is, because obviously we did this kind of thing before movies that made us, you just got to be passionate, dig in, be respectful, but be passionate, and maybe don't accept the first no you hear. Second no will never bother anyone again. But you gotta be polite, but you also have to be persistent.
Did you have an angle, though? Did you go in and say, I think we've got a different angle on this particular story?
So there's the before we got Marcia Lucas, and there's the after we got Marcia Lucas. Before Marcia Lucas, it was please trust us, please trust us. And after Marcia Lucas, it was we got Marcia, and they were like, what? Bullshit. We're like, no, here's the picture. They're like, oh, okay, well, yeah, I'll do it. Like Howard Kazanjian, I don't know if he does the show without her. So as one example.
Interesting.
Wow.
And she was most recently featured in his book. And that was probably the most we've ever heard Marcia Lucas talk about Star Wars prior to Icons Unearthed. But of course, this was all transcribed onto a page, and we're not seeing her on camera, actually hearing the words come out of her mouth. But was it through Kazanjian that you were able to nab Marcia? What was the evolution of you getting her to sit down in front of camera?
It was, believe it or not, it was through Ken Ralston. He
ILM.
interviewed him before. Yeah. We had interviewed him before a few times for other shows, and after the interview, he's literally like taking his mic off. And by the way, what I'm describing to you, I mean, this happens a lot more than you may think. Yeah, he's taking his mic off, and he's like, "Who are you trying to get?" And we were like, "Marcia, Marcia, Marcia." And he's like, "Well, who are you talking?" And we're like, we gave him the names, and he was like, "No, no, no, you got to go through her assistant." And he gave us her assistant's name and number. Took about 2 weeks of back and forth. And then it's funny, I woke up one morning and I was supposed to be flying to New York at 3:00. And I got an email saying that she had said yes. And she's in Hawaii, and she was available, quote, tomorrow and for the next 9 days.
Wow.
And in this line of business, with someone like her,
Yeah.
you don't fuck around with the 9 days part.
No.
I canceled my trip to New York, and at 2:00, I mean, that was like 30 meetings and crap that had to be rescheduled and pushed back 6 weeks. Literally flew to Hawaii at 2:00, and I was in her house about 18 hours after I landed. For 6 hours, by the way, 6-hour interview.
Brian, correct me if I'm wrong, but this is her first on-camera interview and only her second interview ever about Star Wars in 45 years, right?
As far as we can, I hate saying absolutes with stuff like that, because then someone will be like, in 1982. But according to her, and according to staggering amounts of Googling, because I don't want to get that 1982 comment, yes, this was her first ever on-camera interview.
Wow. Kudos to you, man, because that was a real get, as you know, a real get.
Not to be cheesy, but I really feel compelled to respond to you by saying I am part of a team. Obviously, doing interviews like this would be hard to do with everybody sitting here together. So I'm the face of that team, but we don't get her without that team.
Yeah.
What do you think the biggest roadblock is for people who have attempted to interview her in the past? Is it George? Is it something? Did she ever have an agreement with George not to talk? What's the deal?
No, absolutely not. Listen, I can't speak for probably thousands of other filmmakers, but if I had to guess, and this is only a guess, we have a full-time research team. We have a full-time casting team. Like, we have resources that, a guy or a girl working out of their garage, or, I don't care if it's a $10 million house, the garage is like, there's only so much you can do as an independent. So because we have full-time people doing certain jobs for us, you have resources that not everybody has.
Makes sense.
I think I'm beginning to follow you a little bit here, because I thought your resource was Ken Ralston, but it sounds like there was maybe a little something to sweeten the deal.
No, we didn't pay her a penny.
No. Okay. All right. So you got a good research crew, and you got Ken Ralston giving you the tips. But I mean, somebody had to have been able to get to Marcia Lucas over all of these years, and she's been resistant to appear on camera. So I was just wondering if there was ever any reason given why this is her first on-screen interview.
I'll be completely honest with you. I did ask her that.
Yeah.
But I don't remember what she said.
No. My God.
I'm 99.9% sure. Listen, dude, it was a 6-hour interview.
Yeah. And you were there, right? You were there. You're the director of the series. Were you there? You were the one asking the questions.
I was literally sitting 6 feet away from her.
Yeah. Yeah.
In her house. Does she have any Star Wars stuff in the house?
Nothing.
Nothing.
One.
Not even a poster, huh?
Yeah. By the way, this I do remember. I asked her that, and she has a couple houses, and I said to her, and I asked her that. I go, "There's nothing Star Wars here. Do you have any Star Wars anywhere?" And she says she has one of the original posters framed, and I believe she said her LA house, and that's it.
Wow. Well, Brian, we've only been able to see the first 3 episodes of 6 episodes in the series. We've already been treated to a lot of cool stories that we've never heard, despite being total, geeks on this sort of thing and watching all these documentaries and reading all these books and through the magazines. What do you think, though, having met the woman, what do you think is her biggest contribution to Star Wars, Marcia Lucas?
I think, and again, I could spend an hour answering this question, but if I were to reduce it to one simple answer, I think that the way the script was written, the movie was directed, and the editing was being done, she humanized everything. Like, I think it was her that made someone I was 1 when the movie came out, but I got into it when I was 5.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I wanted to be Luke Skywalker because to me he seemed real. Like, I wanted to join the rebellion because of him, and Leia, of course, and Han.
Right.
But she made them real. And if you don't mind a spoiler alert, in Return of the Jedi, she was not very involved with it for a bunch of reasons, including the fact that the marriage was starting to end. But they were about to lock the cut, and they knew it wasn't really working. And they gave it to Marcia. And I'm taking this answer and I'm applying it to A New Hope as much as I am Return of the Jedi. What she told us she did was, and she used this as one example, Mark Hamill was directed to be angry the whole movie. Like, Marcad didn't get the characters. So Marcad is like angry, angry, angry. So he turned in this performance, basically, that was not the Luke Skywalker we grew up with. And she watched the cut. She instantly realized that. So it's interesting. All the people who had worked on it for years before her didn't see that. She saw it. And then she basically locked herself in an editing bay for a week and went through every single take Mark Hamill did and found the softest take. And when he started even getting angry in a soft take, she would cut to Yoda or she would cut to Vader and literally hid the misdirecting that Marcad had done. So I'm using that as an example, but I think that applies to A New Hope as well. As you know, because you've seen the episode, the Force was about to be cut out.
Yeah.
In fact, the Force was cut out. She put it back in. So think about what Star Wars is without the Force. It's like any other science fiction action movie.
And that
The
was
Force,
Brian De Palma that was riding George so hard after that screening about the Force, right?
he gets the most bad rap for that, but it was pretty much everybody but Spielberg.
Yeah.
And so Marcia was the one who was sitting there watching the cut and was like, if we're making this movie, let's make this movie. Like, it doesn't matter if Brian De Palma don't get it.
Yeah.
And the example she used, which I think is in the episode, one of the problems with making shows like this is you're watching 1,000 cuts and then you every cut gets shorter and you kind of forget what made it in or not. But I'm pretty sure this is in the episode where the thing that made her the most upset was when Han, right before they go on the final battle, Han's line, "May the Force be with you." Think about Han Solo's character without that moment.
Yep.
Because I never did until she brought it up. Without that moment, Han Solo is the exact same person at the end of the movie that he was at the beginning of the movie. That line shows him evolving.
Yes.
And subconsciously, that's what we as movie viewers want to see.
Right.
Yeah.
Always.
That's,
We want to
this
see
is
character
one
growth.
example. Yeah.
We want to see character growth. We want to see them evolve, as you say. Hearing you talk about the angry Luke in Return of the Jedi brings back this this idea Mark Hamill had for how he thought it would be cool for Return of the Jedi to end, because he felt like it was all just tied up with a nice little bow, and he wanted something maybe to carry it into the proposed next 3 films. And so he wanted to kill Vader and then put on Vader's helmet and say, now I'm the Dark Lord. And that was a Hamill idea, you know, obviously he pitched it to George and everything, but I can't help but wonder if maybe it was some of this direction from Richard Marquand to bring out more anger in Luke that might have even sort of pushed Hamill to suggesting that. I don't know. But I found that to be very interesting.
I think I agree with you. It's very interesting. I also think it is a horrible idea. That's what I call it.
Yeah. Hey, you know, I'm just trying to.
No, I'm not.
I always felt that idea from Hamill was too much. It was just too much. You know, it would make Luke into an entirely different character, and it would send the Star Wars story into this like cycle where it's repeating itself. You know, Luke then needs to be redeemed and all of this, and I just don't think it would work at all myself. First
of all, maybe I'm in the minority. I got no problems with tying things up with a nice bow. First of all. Second of all, it's what I call a Terminator 3. That ending cost that movie $50 to $100 million. That I will never forget. The whole movie, the audience, you could feel, woo, this is great. And then the movie ends with the end of civilization shown pretty distinctly and clearly. And then you're sitting there in the lobby and everybody's depressed. Like, I'm pretty sure we would not be talking about Star Wars right now if it ended. Like, I'm always interested in context and like a control experiment. I love the black hole. I love it. No one's interviewing me about the black hole in 2022. So,
that's funny.
Like, that's what you have to look at. Like, don't just look at successes. Look at like, why did it succeed versus all the failures? And that to me, and again, I don't remember seeing A New Hope or Empire Strikes Back in the theaters, but I'm 46. I vividly remember seeing Return of the Jedi. And listen, do I know Empire Strikes Back is the best of the original 3? Yes, I do. Am I aware that Return of the Jedi probably has the most problems of the original 3? Yes, I am. Do I still love Return of the Jedi with passion that I do not have Empire Strikes Back? Yes. Do I know the Ewoks are cheesy? Yes. Do I know they were connected to selling toys? Yes. Does it bother me at all? No. Like, I don't care. Like,
I'm with you, man. I'm 45, and yes, I feel the same way. I always say that Return of the Jedi is my sentimental favorite. You know, my intellectual favorite is obviously Empire. Now Max got a few years on us, so he was at the right age for that first film in '77. So he got that moment with the Star Destroyer going overhead, and changed his life. For me, I always say to Jim, my Cantina moment was Jabba's palace. My Star Destroyer flying overhead was Vader coming, down in the Imperial shuttle. When you're 5 years old, that makes quite an impact.
You want to do a little show and tell?
Sure. Show us all your Ewok crap.
I don't know. My groomsmen for my wedding commissioned this painting. Hold on.
All right. So he's going to go get this painting.
Ryan took off.
To prove what a fan. What a fan of the.
He's got a bunch of what looks like concept art behind him.
I know. We can find out what the next project is going to be. Keep looking. We were trying to snoop on your board there behind you. We were going to figure out what your
Nah,
next project
Snoop-
was.
Snoop- Yeah, I think that's all God willing public. All right. How many Ewoks do you think were in this painting?
How many Ewoks in the painting?
Yeah.
Oh my God. I don't know. I haven't seen the painting.
How many Ewoks can you fit into a painting? That's the question.
It's a trick question.
Okay.
How many Ewoks? Well, it's a picture of
Oh,
Luke on
man.
board the
That is the moment.
on board the Death Star.
That
and he's
Brian, I'm not just saying this because I'm a fan of yours, but I think that we're brothers from another mother, because that for me is the quintessential moment. In fact, I have my Black Series Luke Skywalker action figure in that pose, looking down at his mechanical hand. The moment that he realizes that if he doesn't change his path, he's going to be the next Darth Vader. That's the moment of realization. He looks at that hand, and you can hear the mechanics of the hand as he's, kind of running his fingers and making that fist. Huge moment.
It's my favorite moment in all of Star Wars. My number one absolute favorite. And it always has been. But as you get older, you start to think like, why is that always like? And what I basically realized is like, every single one of us has our demons.
Mm-hmm.
Some people have an alcohol problem. Some people have a temper. Some people do drugs. Some people are too insecure or shy. And to me, that moment represents, I'm literally getting emotional. It represents coming to terms with your flaw.
Yeah.
And doing something about it.
Right. And saying no.
Yeah. And walking away from your flaw. And by the way, as you know, it's not like he's sitting there in a restaurant being like, you know what? I'm not going to become a Sith. He literally throws it away knowing he's going to die.
Life and death. Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. He didn't know. So he's throwing it away in a very difficult moment.
Yeah.
Where he put his, I mean, I guarantee you, if you could have asked him before he did that, what do you think the odds are you're going to survive throwing away your lightsaber with the fucking Emperor 2 feet away? He would have said 0. I'm committing suicide on purpose because I don't want to become a Sith.
Right.
And so he did it when it mattered. That's what I love about it. And he confronted his weakness.
And that shot is just telegraphed and foreshadowed with that line from Alec Guinness, more machine than man, twisted and evil. And Luke looks at his hand and he's hearing that line come back from from Obi-Wan Kenobi. And as an audience, we all recognize what's happening there too. There's such a clarity about that moment for us as viewers, where there's nothing left to be questioned after seeing what happens at that moment. So I don't think anybody's ever really talked much about that particular scene in Return of the Jedi on this show. And we've been doing this show for 16 years.
Oh, wow.
But I don't recall anyone ever really addressing that moment. And maybe I just take it for granted after all these years, but you're right. It is such an impactful character moment. Beautiful.
Yeah, I mean, I literally had to use mental tricks while talking to you to not start crying. Yeah. Like,
wow.
It affects. Again, that's why they fucking made a painting. Like,
right.
It is a very important. And by the way, I mean, like I said, we all have our own flaws.
Sure.
Whenever I'm confronting my flaw that I'm the most trying to contain, I think of that, and it helps me with the process of not doing a line of coke. Kidding.
That's what great mythology and great stories do. They inspire us. They hold up the ideal, and we hold ourselves up to that ideal. And when I gotta ask, you got 6 parts, and you're covering episodes 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3. I'm so excited to get into the prequel era. I really am. What about the transition from George to Disney? Are you telling, in so many ways, George's story, George's journey, or do you have plans at some point to maybe continue this on? There is a sequel trilogy. There's more Star Wars. What's your take on that? And would you ever consider, covering it as a documentary filmmaker?
Well, let me start with this. This company only do shows about things we love.
Mm-hmm. I know where this is going.
That should be.
Yeah, so do I.
Stop. Let me.
Sugarcoating
So again,
this.
I don't want to talk about what I don't like, but
Yeah.
this is what I would say. If we were to make more, it would be about The Force Awakens, Rogue One, and Clone Wars. Honorable mention for Rebels.
I see.
That's it.
What about Mandalorian?
So that's interesting. I could do Mandalorian. Because I love Mandalorian. And you're right. If we were to do this, which we're not, but if we were, we would do Mandalorian. You're absolutely right. And again, this is probably going to annoy a lot of people, but I like Boba Fett, but it is the most bizarre thing in the world to me that they took this guy with 7 lines and have built a world out of it. And in the same way, I'm the biggest Trekkie, but I don't get, and I really I'm not a Klingon guy. Like anytime there's Klingon episodes, like I don't watch those more than once. That's kind of how I feel about the whole Mandalorian thing, where I'm like,
they are the Klingons in a way of the Star Wars universe. You're absolutely right. I never thought of that before.
Like apples to apples, story-wise, they have nothing in common.
Right.
But what they do have in common is both things took like the 89th lead and like made it the first lead.
Yeah.
And it and again, tied with Empire Strikes Back on the quality level, the last 4 episodes of Clone Wars. And obviously, that's massively involving Mandalorian storylines and plots and cultures and characters. And I love Bo-Katan. Like, I get it. I don't know her name, but the girl with the braids on her forehead, I love her. Like, I do like it. By the way, much more than the Klingons. But I'm still, I like Rogue One, I watch that once a year. The last 4 episodes of Clone Wars, I watch that once a year. Force Awakens, I probably watch about every 18 months. But I just can't plug into Mandalorian the same way. And I love it. I love it. I know it's great. I've seen every episode. 2 episodes I've watched twice. And of course, one of them is the episode everyone hates, but it's my favorite, the one with the fucking spiders.
I heard somebody today saying that was their favorite episode.
I love that episode. Fucking ground, like on the ground X-Wings just lighten up the spider. Like, it's the greatest Star Wars thing.
But do you have the action figure, Brian? Do you have the action figure?
Absolutely. Absolutely. By the way, it's on my toy collection. This is a good way to make my point. Hold on a second. I got a call at 6:30. I'm going to push back. Sorry. Hold on.
Oh, no, it's all right. Honored that you're pushing off the call. No, it is not live.
This is live. You can cut this out. But what do you call it? So here's a great way to say this differently. If you look at my toy collection, you would think I'm lying with what I got. Mandalorian shit everywhere. Like I got the Pulse. I got the what do you call it? The what's the ship called?
The Razor Crest.
I got the Razor Crest. By the way, I bought it before it blew up. But anyway, I guess we all did. Yeah. But here's what's interesting. I have every single version of Bo-Katan that has been made, I think. I have every single version of what's her name that got fired off the show. I got every single
Gina
version of Bill
Carano, and
Burr.
yeah, right.
Yeah, I got one Mandalorian.
Wow,
Just
so
one.
you love all these supporting characters in that Mandalorian
Yeah.
universe, but Mando
Yeah.
himself, you're just like, yeah.
But again, like the character is evolving.
Uh-huh.
But like, here's another way to put it. Like, I love music. Everybody loves music. I always love when people are like, I'm a real music. I'm like, no one doesn't listen to music. But anyway, I'm a lyric guy.
Okay.
Like if they're like Leonard Cohen, my wife, she thinks that's the worst kind of music ever made. And she'll tell you he's got a horrible voice, which is true.
Uh-huh.
The music in the background ain't that special, which is true. But he writes Pulitzer Prize winning lyrics.
Yeah.
Not
right.
literally, but he should.
I know what you mean. Yeah, they should be.
Boba doesn't talk. Mando doesn't talk. Like, and that's like what I need. So I'm a big quote guy. Like, I'm a big like plot guy. Like, I love that stuff. And he's kind of like the quiet bounty hunter, which is what he is.
Where do you
So,
stand on Chewie and R2?
Chewie? I got one. I have the original Chewie I had when I was a kid. I got the first Black Series they made, though I do have a great Chewie prototype of the Black Series. So I guess 3.
Oh.
But you obviously understand what I'm saying, because like I get Chewie's a great character. I don't understand the people that are obsessed with Chewie. R2-D2 I love, and I got a million different R2-D2s, but like again, like I'm a Princess Leia guy, I'm an Ahsoka Tano guy, I'm a Han Solo guy, like, and Luke and Ahsoka are my 2 favorite characters because, as we said earlier, you see them evolving.
Yes.
I don't know how much Chewie is evolved.
I want to come back to the Ahsoka thing, because I have heard that you're a big Ahsoka fan, but I also have heard.
And by the way, I'm sorry to interrupt, but I really need to say this.
Yes.
And you can go on Instagram and you can prove this on Instagram. I was an Ahsoka fan like fucking 12 years ago. Like I'm
before
not
anybody, before she was cool, right?
Way before she was cool. So I just want to put that out there. But anyway,
no, we had Ashley Eckstein on the show regularly when Ahsoka debuted, and really my take on fandom at that time was they did not like Ahsoka and they didn't like the Clone Wars. When it debuted, they didn't like the movie, and the first season was a real slow burn. I don't think it was until Clone Wars reached Netflix when people started really giving it a chance. And so we were on the front lines of all that stuff. We saw the same stuff you were seeing. There was a lot of pushback towards Ahsoka Tano in those early days.
Yeah, but I would argue the first season for sure, and the second season to a certain extent, they're not that good. I always liked her because, very similar to Luke, this was someone struggling with her path. Dark versus light, Sith versus Jedi. So I always kind of liked her for that reason. But the moment where I like fell in love with her is, and again, you'll notice there's a theme to what I'm into, which I'm sure is true for everybody, but the moment where Clone Wars became Clone Wars, and the moment where Ahsoka became Ahsoka, is, I believe, the end of season, which is the season that ends on the planet where they're like trying to kill everybody and she teams up with the other kids. It's like a jungle planet. The boss aliens.
That would be
right?
That was at the end of season 3. The second half of season 3, things really took off, especially once they got Ahsoka out of the tube top and put some real clothes on her. And then all of a sudden you could take the character seriously.
Well, A, yes. B, the moment for me where everything clicked was, I don't know if you remember this or not, because it was super subtle. after they get back to Coruscant, they're getting off the dropship, and Anakin and Mace and Yoda are waiting for them. They have a bunch of chit chat. I literally just got goosebumps thinking about it. And then Anakin and Ahsoka walk into the building, and you see Mace and Yoda give each other a look. And like that instantly changed the prequel era, because what that moment did, it immediately eliminated the biggest problem with the prequels that existed since the minute George decided to do prequels and not sequels. We know the ending. No one talks about this with the prequels as a problem. It is the biggest problem with the prequels. No one ever talks about it, and I don't know why. The whole point of good storytelling is hide the ending as long as possible and make sure it makes sense. So the minute we sat down to watch Phantom Menace, we knew that cute kid was not going to be cute
Right.
at the end of 3 movies. What that moment with Mace and Yoda did was it shifted the story from Anakin, where we knew the ending, to Ahsoka, where we didn't know her ending. And we didn't know until Mandalorian if she became Sith or Jedi. So the rest of Clone Wars, to me, had that will she, won't she turn to the dark side, which is what we were watching with Luke in Empire and Jedi, and to a certain extent, even though we didn't know it at the time, in A New Hope as well. So that to me is the moment. Like if I were to get a painting for my 10-year wedding anniversary, which ironically is in about 2 weeks, that painting would be of that moment where you see Mace and Yoda looking at each other in profile, and in the background, because basically what you realize at that moment is Mace and Yoda, they get it. They fucked up. This kid is not going to have a happy ending. And you realize they are now betting everything on Ahsoka to get him back on track.
Wow.
And that's, to me, what I always say, that moment upped every one of the prequels a full letter grade. So I probably thought Phantom Menace was a C-. After that, it became a B-. Clone Wars went from a B- to an A-. Let's not go crazy. B+. And then Revenge of the Sith, that went from a B+ to an A+.
Wow.
Because it changed everything, that one look.
Wow. You know, for me, what the Clone Wars has done is established the relationship between Obi-Wan Kenobi and Anakin Skywalker. So when you hear, you know, the Alec Guinness version of Obi-Wan talk about, and he was a good friend, and he's very, you know, sentimental about that, it's finally the fulfillment of that. And, but so I've never really looked at it through what you're suggesting here, through the Ahsoka character in that sense. Very, very cool. Gonna have to.
A lot of people have mentioned over the years to us that the Clone Wars series definitely did enhance their appreciation of the story being told in the prequels. It sounds like that's exactly what happened to you.
That's 100%. Though I will say, I mean, I didn't, especially for my age, I never hated the prequels. Like, I recognized there were some flaws, but I never hated them. So I wasn't the typical 30-something-year-old at the time that hated them. But I will defend this to my dying day. The last 4 episodes of Clone Wars are equal in every sense to Empire Strikes Back in terms of quality of storytelling and quality of everything. I think it is one of, without a doubt, the most gut-wrenchingly powerful moments in cinema, not just Star Wars.
Wow.
I'm talking about a stupid cartoon.
Have you ever told Dave Filoni this, Brian? Have you ever?
Not, no, unfortunately, the few times I've met him, there've been a lot of other people in the room.
Yeah.
But the moment, I mean, I'm literally like getting emotional again. The moment where, like, we know what's coming, but they don't.
Uh-huh.
At the
Yeah.
beginning of the 4th episode from the end, when they say goodbye to each other and they're like, see you in a couple days. I mean, what is more gut-wrenching than that moment? And by the way, books do that kind of thing a lot. Movies and TV shows don't, where the audience knows what's up and you're watching two completely clueless actors.
Yeah.
In this case, cartoons. Like, we know what's coming and they don't. That is a very rare storytelling device. And my God, is that gut-wrenching. Gut-wrenching.
Wow. Dude, we could do a whole hour with you just on Clone Wars and on those 4 episodes. I do want to ask you, what was the biggest surprise for you when you put this together? And I want to look at both the original trilogy and the prequel trilogy. What was the thing that you just never had any idea about when it came to the production, the making of the original trilogy, and then the prequel trilogy?
I mean, the originals, I mean, that's the easiest thing in the world. And I love asking Star Wars experts this. I was doing that at San Diego Comic-Con on Friday. I did it at Celebration. Had you ever, you've been doing this 16 years.
Yes.
Have you ever heard that Fox was pressuring them not to film the final battle? Have you ever heard that before?
I knew there was a lot of pushback from Fox, especially when George went back to them seeking $10 million more. And that's probably when that was all being discussed. Alan Ladd was able to get in there and sort of soothe over the board's fears about throwing money away. And it was really Alan Ladd Jr. was the guy taking the bullets for George Lucas running overtime, running over budget. And I do believe I may have actually heard that it was suggested to just end it when they escaped the Death Star. Yes. I think J.W. Rinsler wrote about that.
Yeah, no, that is not in any of his books. I can assure you that. Like, that is not in there.
What about the Alan Ladd Jr. documentary? Have you seen that?
I don't. I've seen it. I don't remember it. But by the way, you reminded me. You want to hear something gut-wrenching?
Yes.
We had pre-interviewed him. We were 2 days away from doing his interview when he passed.
Oh, that's too bad. That's really too bad.
Yeah,
because
anyway, back to your question. So that was my biggest surprise with the originals, was that there was a lot of talk about the movie ending with the escape. And I literally, so Marcia just threw that out there. And I was like, whoa, back up. And that happened a lot with her. She would just throw out mind-blowing stuff and keep talking. I'm like, whoa. And I said to her, I go, well, what do you mean? Like, how would the movie have ended? And she's like, Brian, you've seen the film, right? I'm like, yes, I've seen the film. She's like, they would have fought off those 4 TIE fighters and it would have said directed by George Lucas. And again, I'm pretty sure we would not be here right now had that movie ended that way. I don't think there's an Empire Strikes Back without that. There's a splinter in a mind's eye, but I don't think there's a... but so that's that. And then for the prequels, this may sound like a very boring answer, but for me, this was like, what? Actually, I have two answers. Answer number 1. I had no idea how relevant the Indiana Jones Chronicles were to the prequels. Like, no clue they were related whatsoever. So that blew my mind. And then the other thing that blew my mind, and again, to other people, this may seem like a very boring, trivial thing, but for whatever reason, I'm just like obsessed with this. George was really well thought out and planned for like Phantom Menace. Like, there was like no script 2 weeks before they started shooting Attack of the Clone. Like, they were literally writing. He had spent $100 million building sets and all this stuff was going on. And there was like no script locked. And there was like, and then by the way, same thing happened to a certain extent with Revenge of the Sith. So they're getting closer and closer to shooting, and people are like, "Hey George, you're the boss. I love you, man, but there could be a script." And it's like, you have to remember, and this often gets forgotten with him. This guy, 5 times in a row, Empire, Jedi, and the prequels, made the most expensive independent film ever. So you would think the guy taking money out of his own bank account, who knows how movies work,
Yeah.
might say to himself, we should probably have a script.
Yeah.
So that blew my mind.
But he
And we had
hates
to
the
get tons of-
process, does he? He hates writing. Like he agonizes over it.
Well, it's in the episode where we get this great line from Phil Tippett, I think in the Return of the Jedi episode, where he's like, yeah, I bumped into George in the hallway one day, and I'm like, how you doing, George? And he was like, I wish I was at home watching cartoons. Like, just like
That's what he does.
he's on his way to being a billionaire. He's the
Yeah.
most successful filmmaker of all time. If you look at it, film, like Spielberg is the most successful filmmaker, but he's made like 50 movies.
Right.
George has made 7. So, like, and you know, and he sold it for $4.5 billion in stock. I always like to point that out. That I bought stock in Disney the day that was announced. My stock before this year was up about 140%. So that means George was paid at least $10.2 billion.
Wow.
So you know, again, you got this guy who, quote unquote, should know better. But I mean, who are any of us to tell him we know better? Like, I don't know about. Do you have $4.5 billion? I don't.
No, not on me.
Those
No.
guys are, yeah. It's hard to get through to those guys. Hey, through all of this, you've done I'm sorry, Brian?
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
Through all of this, you've done documentaries about Star Wars, about collecting Star Wars. What's your relationship like with Lucasfilm? And do you ever foresee a time in the future where you could actually be working for them?
I interviewed somebody that works at Lucasfilm today. So let's start with that. Number one. Number two, we were doing something with Lucasfilm that COVID blew up. And it's painful to talk about that. But
man.
yeah, we were, yeah. It was scheduled, budgeted, everything. It was a travel show, by the way, so that's why that got canceled. I don't think it's coming back now. So, yes, it would be without a doubt my dream. And again, you know, I talk to them every now and then. I mean, more than every now and then. But, you know, the problem is, like, I see that ILM documentary that's came out, I think, yesterday. I mean, I'm watching the whole thing this weekend. But they announced it, and of course, I'm human. For a second, I'm like, why didn't they come to me? It's like, well, why would they come to me? They got Ron Howard, they got Lawrence Kasdan, like, so that's the problem with working with them is, and I don't say this to shit on myself, but like, why would they want to work with me? You know what I mean? Like, they're Lucasfilm, they can get Ron Howard. So I'm going to stay in there. I'm going to keep trying. But if I had to guess, they're going to go with Lawrence Kasdan 7 days a week, twice on Sundays over me. As they should, by the way.
I got to say, man, I feel like you're really, you know, Lucasfilm or no, you're living the dream. I mean, you're a geek, you're a fan, you're making these awesome documentaries that get people talking and binge watching. And you're also a collector, and you started actually making toys yourself. You've got a toy company, and I think you have your first toy that's going to be coming out. I know you have some issues with Mattel, which, by the way, I watched your YouTube video when that first. I did hear about that. Yeah. Hey, fight the good fight, man.
We are.
But you're, as I say, you're kind of living the dream. You're turning the things that you love into, and that you're passionate about, into a profession, a career. all of that. So what's next? I think when I see, toys that made us, movies that made us, holiday movies that made us, and this documentary about Star Wars, Icons Unearthed, can you give us an idea of what might be coming up next for you? Is Icons Unearthed going to tackle another franchise? I mean, what's going on?
Well, I mean, we got picked up. So we announced at Comic-Con season 2 is going to be Simpsons. So,
oh my gosh, I didn't know that. I'm so sorry. I didn't realize that. Okay, congratulations.
Yes.
Congrats.
Yes, thank you. So so season 2 is Simpsons. Here's the problem. We have 11 series in production right now. I think only 3 are public. So like the thing I was doing today, that ain't public. So Toy Store Near You, season 5 comes out later this year. That's on Amazon. Down to Earth with Zac Efron, season 2. That's on Netflix. That comes out this year. I already told you about Simpsons. I think that's the only stuff that's been announced. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm holding out hope for some more toys that made us. I'll tell you that.
I'm holding out hope for the podcast that made us. And it could be all about Rebel Force Radio.
Hey, 16 years in the can. And hey, tell you what, cheap plug here, Brian, but if you love the Clone Wars and you love hearing from Dave Filoni, we've probably logged more interview miles with Dave Filoni than anyone else. So we've got him, we've got him fresh after meetings with George as he was working on the Clone Wars. So it's some cool stuff. I will say there's something I want to do here if you got just a couple more minutes. We don't do this with every guest, but I think you are tailor-made for this. And it's something we call the Yoda questionnaire.
The Yoda questionnaire.
We reserve this for extra special guests. This is a questionnaire that was created by the Jedi Master himself, Master Yoda. He faxed it to us some years ago from Dagobah. And
I love that.
These questions may seem simple on the surface, but they could generate some of the most complex answers.
Yes.
It's funny when I interview people. I did this like 2 hours ago. Every now and then I'll be like, stupid question, possible great answer. Yeah. So I know what you speak. I know of what you
That's
speak.
our motto around here.
All right, here we go with the Yoda questionnaire. Question number 1. Who or what? We want to be very inclusive here with what. Who or what is your favorite Star Wars character?
I hope this is okay. It really is a tie between Luke and Ahsoka.
And
Luke
Ahsoka.
And Ahsoka.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
right. Luke
without a
Skywalker
doubt, my two favorites.
Ahsoka.
And by the way, it really is Jedi Luke, more than A New Hope or even Empire, but it's Luke and Ahsoka.
So you were obviously very excited. I would assume very excited when you saw the return of Jedi Luke in Mandalorian, and then we saw him in.
Well, thanks to some motherfucker on Instagram, I was not as surprised as I should have been.
Oh,
Rats!
But it's woman.
So you didn't have that moment when that X-wing showed up, and you're like, "Could it be? Could it be? Could it be?"
Oh, that was not ruined.
Okay.
That was
good.
not ruined.
Good, yeah, because I didn't
I
hear any leaks about that.
Yeah. No. I got that. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. Holy shit. No, I thought you were talking about the Ahsoka, Luke, and Mandalorian.
Oh, right.
Or wait,
Or in
Book of Boba.
Book of
Book of
Boba, yeah. Isn't that weird? All right. Okay, so we're going to journey to the dark side here. Who or what is your least favorite Star Wars character? Least favorite. One that you just, every time you see him, you just get off the screen.
Fucking what's his name? What the hell's his name? The guy who owns Anakin.
Watto.
Oh, Watto.
Oh,
he does
God.
not.
No love
Watto
for
is
Watto.
designed to be. He's designed to be disliked, but what is it about him? Yeah. What is it about Watto that?
First of all, he's stupid. So I never like watching stupid characters. He's just not smart. Second of all, I mean, he's like there's such a weird thing with Phantom Menace. like, and again, I'm not one of these people that hates the movie, but like, there's this line in the film, and again, nobody talks about this line, but to me, it is literally the strangest thing. There's literally a line where Anakin says to Jean, what do you call it, Quan Jinn,
Qui-Gon.
he says Qui-Gon. He's like, well, you're a Jedi. Can you free my mom? And he literally says, nah, we don't do that. And it's like, my whole life, Jedi were like the beacons of good.
Right.
You don't free slaves? Okay. Like, all right. I guess maybe that's a line. The Jedi don't, maybe they work. I don't know. Back to Star Trek, I'm always like, why doesn't the Federation have cloaking devices? Like, you got everything else, but you can't cloak. You need some dumbass treaty with the what?
Some sort of moral thing?
I'm like, so then back to Saboba, it's like, that's his name, right?
Watto.
Watto.
Yes.
Like, with Watto, by the way, I'm not a big Saboba fan either, because they're just so two-dimensional. That's really, because I've never been asked this question before. It's a great question. That's really, if I could erase everything I've said and start over, that's what I would start with. These are two-dimensional characters.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm the bad slave guy owning a kid and his mom. I'm the evil pod race driver, like this. Like, it's so two-dimensional, and it's like almost uncomfortable.
Nothing from Last Jedi here on least favorite character. No Snoke, no.
Dude, I don't talk about that movie.
It doesn't even show up on his radar.
I shouldn't even say this, but I'm literally sitting in the movie watching it. The one time I've seen it, I'm literally sitting there being like, I need to start scrubbing this out of my memory. Like, I need to find a way to make it like this didn't happen.
Tell you what, Brian, we have a good friend on the show, great guy, who Mac and I started talking about Last Jedi, and he got up and just walked out of the recording of the podcast.
Can't even talk about it.
Okay. So what Star Wars, and by the way, when we say Star Wars, we mean, we can include Clone Wars, all that stuff, but what scene in Star Wars always makes you smile? No matter how many times you see it, it always puts a smile on your face.
R2-D2 going up on his tippy toes, looking in the window at Dagobah.
Man, we have had people say that before. That is, I don't want to say it's a common answer, but we have heard it before. It's funny how that really resonates with people.
Yeah.
By the way, probably sharing too much right now. Anytime I go on my tippy toes, that's what I'm thinking.
You know, we had an opportunity.
That was an ad lib. That was a directorial ad lib by Irvin Kershner.
Yeah, I was just going to say, we heard that from the mouth of Irvin Kershner, I think at Celebration 5. And not too long before he passed away. It was so cool to actually hear those stories from him. Talk about humanizing the Star Wars characters.
Yeah,
Legend.
I'm so jealous of you guys.
Next question. What Star Wars scene always makes you sad? Is there a scene that just always gets you in the gut every time?
I mean, yeah, again, I said it before. This would have been my answer, but when Ahsoka and Anakin say goodbye for the last time as who they were before what they become. I mean,
when does that happen? Does that happen at the end of season 5, or does that happen at the series finale?
No. It's the end. It's the 4th episode from the end of Clone Wars. They're on the big clone, the clone command ship with the dual bridges, and he'd already given her the new lightsabers,
right?
And literally, one of them says, "See you in 2 days," and in an hour, Anakin's gonna be killing Dooku, which is really when he becomes a Sith. and her life's about to, and also the ending. I mean, just Anakin standing there in the snow. Both of those moments have in common, you're seeing a character understanding in full Technicolor a different life he could have had. Like, he's in the snow, all his former friends, clones, have their helmets on spikes. There's a cracked in half, whatever those Star Destroyers were called back then. I always call them the dual bridge Star Destroyers because I love that they have two bridges and why they have two bridges. But like, it's just gut wrenching. It's just gut wrenching. It's the death of his friend. Like, I mean, it's just such a gut wrenching moment.
All right, one last question. I'm going to modify this one a little bit. It's not the original question from Yoda because you're a director. So let's say there's another Star Wars film to be made. You're the director, and George Lucas is executive producer, and he's there on set with you as you're wrapping the film. What would you like to hear George say to you as you say cut on the last scene before you wrap?
You know, I can only answer this question because I've only met George for about 11 seconds, so I don't know him at all. But, you know, I've been reading about him my whole life. My career choices because of him. Making the documentary, I was eat, sleeping, breathing George Lucas for, you know, about 7 months. Knowing, quote unquote, knowing him the way I know him, which again, that's 11 seconds worth of time in reality. The only thing I could expect him to say that would be meaningful is good job. Because I know from him, but from him, he's not a big flowery language guy. He's not a hug you guy. He's a real practical, pragmatic business person who happens to be in a creative field. He's also very efficient with his words. But I also know he means what he says.
Yeah.
So, yeah, if I'm sitting there and we're wrapping up, that's if he said, good job, Brian, that'd be the greatest thing anyone ever said to me.
Well, I'll tell you what, as from one fan to another, someone who's loved so much of your work and excited to watch what you have in store, I say, good job, Brian. And thank you for being on the show. And thank you for this documentary. Really and truly.
Make me cry.
Well, I'll tell you what, man, you are welcome here on Rebel Force Radio anytime you want. We're one of the longest running Star Wars podcasts on the planet. Probably the best most downloaded one on the planet. So
who on earth could be longer than 16 years?
I don't think anyone.
Not aware of any. Nope. None of any consequence.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you won. Yeah, I'm pretty sure you won.
Put it that way. So, hey, anytime you want to come and talk Star Wars with us, you're always welcome. Thank you for this great documentary. I'm so excited to see the next 3 episodes and so excited to see what's next for you and this amazing, fun company that you've put together.
Thank you, guys. And, this was a lot of fun. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
That's what it's all about. That's what it's all about.
It really is.
So it's Icons on Earth, Tuesday nights. Tuesday nights, we have 3 episodes left, right? And they drop on Tuesday nights on Vice TV.
The hell out of the first 3, so you can catch the repeats.
Yeah,
great.
Oh, and
they're all good.
Episode, we just put the first episode up on YouTube, on Vice's YouTube channel.
Oh, wow.
So, because we've been hearing from a lot of people, what's Vice? Where do I find Vice? So, go watch YouTube. If you like the episode, then take a couple minutes to find Vice.
All right, we'll get the link. We'll get the link out on our website. That's great that it's on. That it's on there.
Thanks,
all right,
Brian.
man. Thank you so much.
Have a good night.
You too, buddy.
You too.
Thank you.